Good evening,
witches.
Here we are live on Thursday, just like we promised.
Yes, 3. So I'm Kat.
I'm Jayme.
And
I love it. We've been doing this for several years, and we still look like we're brand new. I love it.
New Witch Academy of Modern Magic.
We are the creators of the New Witch Academy of Modern Magic. And we are also the hosts for the New Witches Meetup group on Meetup app. And gosh, that's almost to 2,200 people now.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, 2,200 witches that have joined us on Meetup so far. So if you haven't been here from the beginning, we started on Meetup. We started posting stuff onto YouTube so that people who missed the meetups could still get the information. This is basically a lesson-based group where we're just teaching witchcraft stuff and talking about it. And
our target is primarily new witches.
Primarily new witches, or anybody who's just like still searching for what's right for them. We try to bring in all kinds of new information. A lot of it is based off of things that I've done in my practice. Kat being the newer witch, she's been practicing about 4 years. I'm at 25 years. And so we bounce this off of each other to see, she helps me figure out what I need to say because I forget what it's like to be new. And I help fill in her knowledge gaps with the things that I know. So we are going to be here live on YouTube during the summer while we take a break from the meetup group because we got a lot going on. We got a wedding next week, which I don't think it'll be very hard to do a live. We will not be together.
Yeah. No, we won't be together.
Yeah, we won't be together. So one of us might hop on.
Yeah. Okay.
But I will keep you guys updated. We put all of the updates in the YouTube channel community tab. So whatever we're going to do, whatever our schedule is going to look like, that's where you can find out about it. But we also have a Facebook page that we post on. Definitely not
with regularity. Did you see this note?
Still,
subscribers only. Was that?
Yes.
That right? Okay.
I did. I changed the lives to subscribers only because last week we did get a weird spammy kind of thing. And I just said, okay, well, they have to subscribe to the channel. And that way I can report them if they come on and do some crazy stuff. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's a record now. So no more weird little things that come onto the chat. Sam from the UK? What? Sam, where in the UK are you from?
Oh my goodness.
Holy moly.
Let's see. What time is it there? Is it the morning? Isn't it early morning?
No, it's early morning, like 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning?
Depends, yeah.
Hi, Sam from the UK.
Man.
We're so glad that you're here.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to have to tell us how you found us all the way across the pond.
I love that.
Also, we want to tell you there is a forum if you want to join at the website solitarywitchsociety.com.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty new site, but there's probably 25 witches out there. So you can go there, sign up, and then get involved in conversations or start
It's just a communication site. Like it's where we all come together to converse that's not on a social media site.
Right.
That's the key difference there.
He's from West Yorkshire, and it's just past midnight. Oh, it's not that late then.
Just past.
Well,
just 6 hours.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here.
So the agenda for tonight and for the lives going forward during the summer is Kat and I find a lot of really wacky shit on the internet to do with witchcraft and people practicing and people getting into it that are new that just find really odd stuff and they don't know what to do about it or they ask different groups questions and things. So we have been looking through internet posts, different social media platforms, not witch talk because I don't have TikTok, but my sister does tell me about some of the weird stuff that she sees like, what is that about? And without explanation, new witches can become so confused and it stops their progress and their growth because it's like, it's so much and there's no real good place to get answers. So we're that real good place to get answers. That's what we're trying to create here over the summer.
And a lot of things that I see in these posts are people are searching for answers. They have questions and then they're referred somewhere or they're given information. I'm like, I kind of cringe when I read it because I'm like, I wouldn't want somebody new to start from that perspective, like a fear base, if they're telling, when we're talking about there's a lot of that.
A lot of what
we have four questions tonight that we are going to
4 topics. They're not
questions.
They were questions by people online, but it's 4 topics for us to go over.
All right.
That Kat pulled all 4 of them. I was supposed to pull 2, you guys, and I didn't do my job. So she has all 4 topics, and I haven't heard them yet. So everything is going to be like, that's why we're calling this a Witch Reacts, because it's going to be new stuff that I haven't heard of yet, and just what I think about it or what Kat thinks about it as well. Okay. We both have our ideas and opinions on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And first one, what is it?
Okay, so the first one somebody asked is, can people bring unwanted energy, unwanted negative energy,
okay,
or unwelcome spirits with them, like as in on their person, and bring those into your house and leave them there when they go? So that was the question. Somebody was like the context was that they have some maybe negative relatives. I'm thinking that it was like some kind of
they
toxic.
Didn't spell it out.
They didn't spell it out exactly, but they alluded to some negative, maybe in-laws or something, that come and visit, and they were concerned about what kind of negativity or even unwelcome spirits.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. Is it possible for those people to bring those with them, and then those entities to stay? So that's the first thing that we're going to.
Well, since you're already going, what do you think? Because this is a 2-part sort of thing. All right, let's address the first part. Can people bring in unwanted negative energy?
Well, I think that there is negative. So here's my perspective. So there is negative energy in the world, and people do carry that with them. A lot of times we will know that because we will be turned off by that person and we don't know why. And that is their vibration that we're picking up on. That's their energetic vibration that we're picking up on. And and so we're just like, oh, something about this, I don't like that. Like, if you've ever met someone and you automatically didn't like them, it's probably a vibrational thing where you're either not on the same wavelength, or that person is carrying around some really negative energy. So but the question was specifically, can they bring it and leave it? And I think if you believe, so again, from my perspective anyway, if you believe that people can come to your house and leave their bad energy behind, then I think they can. That being said though, I do believe that if you have a situation in your home where, let's say you get to have a family gathering, let's say it's Thanksgiving. This is a perfect opportunity when there's a holiday, or we're coming up on 4th of July. Right?
Yeah.
The whole family gets together and people get wasted, and there's a big fight. Let's say there's a big fight between a couple people. This probably happens like all the time, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So there's a big fight between people, and it goes down in the house, and it's really ugly. Some bad things are said. I do believe that kind of energy can stay in the environment where those people were, where that happened. And in that situation, what I would do is just to clear that out, is probably sage it, or in some other way.
Singing bowls. I like to do singing bowls after arguments. Yeah. Like words that are said through the air, use another air.
See, she's more experienced than me. I don't have any singing bowls, but if I did, I would probably use them all the time because I love the sound.
How come I didn't know that at Mother's Day? I could have got you a singing bowl at Mother's Day.
So I guess I think that's probably a really common situation where I think when people do come into your house and there is a lot of conflict, that I definitely think that energy can stay there. Not that those people bring it and leave it, but that something happens in that environment and that vibration is there. So that's how I would answer that.
I love it.
How would you react to that?
All right. It's very similar to what Kat is saying, but mine goes a little bit more in depth, that the person who is picking up on the negative energy is also having the negative feelings. So it's about clearing yourself out first and understanding why do you feel that there's negative energy there first. Let's address that, because you always want to start with you first. You're not always in an environment, or everything in the environment shouldn't be able to affect you. If you are feeling that way, you're going to want to look at yourself first and go, all right, well, why am I picking up everything? How come I don't feel more grounded or strong when I go into a place that stuff doesn't negatively affect me, or I feel like I'm getting all these, feelings about something? If there's an argument, yes, absolutely. That's going to leave not just negative energy within a space, but it leaves negative energy on you. You feel bad about it. You heard it all. It has an impression on us that can drop our vibration to be low. And that's why you feel like there's negative energy lingering. It's actually just that the situation brings a vibration of a person or a place down, and then it needs time to rebalance itself, come back to a natural state if it's items. But we can always make that happen faster using singing bowls or sage or crystals or whatever you want to have around. Even just saying kinder words to things. Words are vibrations that can change the environment. So that was the first one. Start with yourself. and then look at the
Well,
environment.
and I would like to piggyback on that because
Yeah.
I think that's a really excellent thing. I know we've talked about this in our meetups about going to a place, like let's say you go to a store, a shopping mall or something like that, and being able to feel tension in the air, if you will, that negative energy of people who are, not having a good day. I know we've talked about carrying around like black tourmaline or something like that, but
I have it in my purse every day.
But I really like what Jayme says about looking at yourself inward first. And so what I do now, I really try hard because you guys, I've had resting bitch face my whole life, and everybody that I've had like girlfriends that became my best girlfriends, but when they first saw me, they said, I thought you were such a bitch. And I was like, I can't help it. I have resting bitch face, right?
Whole life.
My whole life, literally. But those girls that thought that about me, we ended up being best friends. Are like, I just can't believe it. I'm like, I don't know how to make this change. Well, I have discovered how to make this change. I smile. I like intentionally make myself smile. That's not a natural state for me to go around like, like this all the time. But
she's a Scorpio. But she's always like,
I'm always in some dark thinking place. I'm in my mind. Yeah, I'm in my head a lot. But I intentionally, when I go out, I try to smile. I make eye contact with people. I try to say something nice. And that's a way to change energy in a place that you go into that you might be feeling like it's tense. Let's say you're standing in line and people are like really grouchy. Lighten the mood with a smile, a kindness, some kind of kindness. So I think it's very good.
Anything.
I think it's very good to bring it back to you. And what can you do about it? Not that you are just because
helpless thing in the environment. You're not helpless in your environment, no matter what that environment looks like. You can always control what's happening inside of your body through the practice, right?
Yes.
For me, I grew up a super anxious kid. I was bullied a lot. Like I've just always been pretty uncomfortable in social situations. And I used to tell myself that I'm not good at being social. So I stopped saying that to myself. And I used a practice of creating like a bubble of white light around me that made me feel like, no, I'm totally fine going into these situations. The uncomfortableness is just because I don't know what to expect, and that's okay. So when I started looking into myself on why these things made me uncomfortable, it wasn't about all the people around me that I thought might not like me or was bullying me or whatever. It was more about how I felt in that situation. And I had to, kind of like learn to stand in it and be like, everybody can't like me. That's okay. This is part of life. You're not supposed to match with everybody. There's supposed to be some turmoil so that you can grow and learn things about yourself. And that was what this helped me do. So picturing the white light around me, and especially when I'm in a place where it just doesn't feel good, that's how I get through it. And then I don't stick around if I don't have to. I definitely leave. I'm like, all right, I know I can be in here 15 minutes. And then after that, I'm sort of like at the end of being able to hold that I'm okay, everything's fine, So you kind of have a limit to how much energy you can push out with that usually too. At least I do. I find that. All right. The negative spirit thing though.
Yeah. So the second part of the question was, can they bring an unwelcomed spirit with them and like leave it in your space?
It's crazy. I love the imagination of so many writers and films and like M. Night Shyamalan. Like I love all that stuff.
Are you thinking Hollywood? Is that what it makes you think of?
Well, because there is no other reason we would have these fears unless we've seen it elsewhere. You cannot be afraid of a dog unless somebody else around you was afraid of a dog. You just don't know to be afraid of the dog. That's not instinctual. So because we have these feelings of fear, this comes from an environment of something else, whether it's like an influence from a movie. I saw The Exorcist when I was like 14.
I read the book. It was terrifying.
I mean, you get influenced by things and you're like, is this possible? Can this happen? It can happen in your imagination. And one of the things that Kat and I always say is what you think about, you bring about. If you think it's real, you will make it real. You will have things happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just what's going to happen for you. So if you also believe the complete opposite, you're just this, shiny, happy idiot that doesn't see anything bad in the world, you can be that person too. That's totally possible. It's just where you want to put your attention at, to focus on things that scare you or that you're afraid of so that you feel like you're being protected because you can like deal with it. That's one way to live. The other way to live is to be like, no, these things don't come into my life because I don't allow them. Like they don't have a place here. There's no reason for it. I don't.
And the other thing, I have a book recommendation. If anybody wants it, I've been probably listened to it 5 times now. It's about 15 hours on audiobook, but it's called Journey of Souls. And
You listened to it how many times already?
Like 5 times.
Wow.
Because it's only 15 hours. So I let it play when I'm sleeping, because I want it to be like, I want to like get it in my brain. But in Journey of Souls, the author's name is Michael Newton, I believe. He's a hypnotherapist, and he did regressions and took people back to past lives. But what he also did in those regressions was he got people to tell him he was able to tap into their lives when they were spirits on the other side. So you get the reason I love this book, and I'm going to recommend it to anybody who's thinking about spirits and wanting to understand more about spirits. I think this is a really good book. For me, it sort of gave a name to, or gave an explanation to, some of the things that I have sort of thought but couldn't articulate, and I just was like, maybe I felt it. But this book, the people that he's hypnotized, there's 29 case studies in there. So this is not, he did this for years.
30 years.
He did this for like 30 years, and it took him a long time to write this book. And he passed away in 2016 now, but there is an institute that's carrying on his work. Anyway, if you have any concerns about spirits, please do yourself a big favor. Get the book Journey of Souls by Michael Newton, and either listen to it on audiobook. It's great. You do have to listen to the Dr. N and the subject, and that you have to read it too. So it's kind of like there's like the interview thing and part of it, but you get past that. Anyway, it's great for really understanding spirits, because it even addresses ghosts, like, people spirits who get stuck here and why. So if you have any of those kind of concerns or curiosities, I highly recommend it.
Yes. So. And be curious, keep an open mind.
Yes, be curious.
Every year that we're here, we learn more and more about why we're here, the purpose, life after this, the in-between lives, all those things. Like, just stay curious with it and open to the things that come to your forefront. That's what I would say. Because spirit stuff, I get it. It can be scary. Yeah. But that's your imagination. That's the human side.
Yes.
Okay, what was our next topic?
Our next question is, somebody wanted to know if there was a quick money spell and that they could do, because I don't know, they needed to bring money in. I didn't read all of it, but what I read was the answers, and somebody's like, yes, Pinterest has lots of quick money spells. And I thought, oh gosh, somebody brand new, if you tell somebody brand new to witchcraft to go to Pinterest and get a spell there, but you don't give them anything other than here's the words of the spells and the ingredients. If they don't understand what they need to do to make that spell work, to get in that vibration, nothing's gonna happen. I don't think. Maybe if you got
people stuck.
If you got really lucky, you might do a spell and then you got some money and you think it would work. But to tell people to go get spells, we talk about this a lot in our meetup group, about how the rituals, the spells, the things that people believe, and why these things don't work, why people buy spell jars and then they don't work. And then the seller of the spell jar tells them, well, you didn't do the spell right. Yeah. So that's not really true.
It's not helpful.
Well, it's not helpful.
It's not helpful on anybody's journey to run into so many roadblocks that then they give up the practice of, because I do believe that witchcraft and spiritualism, it's very connected. I mean, you want to return to something that feels more natural, that isn't led by a person that tells you where you're going after you die. So with a quick thing, Sam, I actually have a 50-cent euro, because I was in Italy recently, and I've been carrying this in my purse as like my good luck charm, actually. I don't know why. I guess because it's foreign money. But if there was a thing, if you wanted to do a quick money spell or a quick spell for whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into your life, it's as simple as holding a symbol of something, you don't have to do like a whole spread and like candles. You don't have to do all of that
and get 12 different ingredients.
It is really about the energy that you hold for the thing that you desire and how often you could do it to bring that outcome closer to you. So the more, remember, what you think about, you bring about. So if you're thinking about that you're going to win money, get money, somebody's going to hand you a random check or whatever, that is what you're going to bring to you the more that you think about it. So I pulled out my 50-cent euro. It feels weird to call it a cent, but it says 50 euro cent. I don't know exactly how to say it, but like I said,
Sam, is she saying that right?
I've been keeping this in my purse as just I don't know. I feel like it's lucky for some reason. It reminds me of my trip, and anyway. what it would look like to do a quick money spell is to have something that you hold as a indicator that you remember you're doing your spell or you're putting energy towards a thought. Hold it in your hand and just repeat something to yourself. It could be like a single line affirmation. It could be a mantra. It could be something that you just say over and over again, like the amount of money, come to me easily. There's no blocks. I get everything that the universe has to offer. Like whatever the little words are that you got to say, and make it sound as natural as you can. I've definitely discussed that in some spells I cuss. Some people wouldn't think that that's great, but that's the way that I naturally talk. I cuss a lot when I'm not on camera. It's like my natural language. So sometimes in my spells, I've had cuss words because they rhyme and it fits and it makes me feel the emotion of the thing more. So what you want to do is create words and a little symbol that makes you feel the emotion of the outcome that you're trying to get.
So, and here's something to keep in mind for those of you who are just hearing this for the very first time. Spell work is pounds.
It's pounds. Oh, see, I've never been to England. Damn it.
Not yet. Just say thanks, Sam, for clearing
I thought
that
it was
up.
all euros over there. I don't know. Thank you for the education.
Here's a secret that's not really a secret. Spell work is the same as law of attraction and manifestation. So if you ever get stuck on like, I don't know how to do this spell, think of how you would bring something to fruition in your life in another way if you didn't attach it to witchcraft. Like if you made a vision board, or if you prayed about it, or if you did some other things that you would do, if you
meditation,
meditation,
affirmations, all
it's
that.
The same thing.
It's just energy that we're pushing outside of ourselves to a destination where we believe that future lives for us, and we're trying to pull that closer to us in a manner that's like very direct and pinpointed in the future.
And if you really want a good book, here I am with the books again. I don't know why I'm with books tonight, but whatever. And if you want a really good author and books about manifestation, not law of attraction, that's not what you call it. Joe Dispenza, Dispenza, Joe Dispenza. He's written books about, one's called Changing the Habit of Being Yourself. Anyway, Joe Dispenza, lots of good stuff about creating the life that you want,
and it's
with
sciencey.
So
there's like science behind what he does. Yes. So I love that because eventually, witchcraft and healers, midwives, they were the blurry side of where, science and astrology, where all of that stuff was really coming together, because there was this looseness around it, or this blurred lines where we couldn't quite define it. And now in our technology age, we are able to define it and get measurements. Like there's machines that can see thought waves that actually emit from your body and go places. So it's energy. Like it's just, I love the time that we live in. It's amazing.
It is.
Because now you can say that witchcraft is real, like that everything that we've been doing and practicing is real because it does affect the outcome of things. I just love that. Okay. Next
topic is, so someone posted, and it wasn't a question, but I thought this was very interesting, and I did want to talk about it here with people in case they ever had this idea. This person tattooed a protection symbol on themselves. I don't know where it was. It was a close-up of it, but it was like a rune, whatever it was a rune symbol that for protection.
Sure.
And they said, not a question, but ever since I got this tattoo, my life has improved. So I want to talk about, was it that tattoo?
Because you know what I'm going to say.
Or was it the fact that when you got the tattoo, you believed that things would be better?
The commitment. I mean, to get a tattoo, I think requires a lot of commitment. The
tattoo was big, you guys. It was not a little tattoo. It was probably
Some
2 inches.
People would say that's little though. Like I was thinking like little, a back or something.
No, it was probably 2 or 3 inches.
Okay.
In diameter and height. So it looked pretty big to me.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment.
So if you're going to put marks on yourself, think about the level of commitment that you've got towards that. You're sitting there, you're enduring something. So however long it took to do the tattoo, if it was 2 inches, it was probably like 10, 15 minutes, depending on coloring and all that.
No, it was thick. The lines were all thick, and I'm saying it was
time and dedication, being in that space, knowing that that's what you wanted, really truly believing it.
They hurt. They do.
I barely remember.
This was my move to Florida tattoo. It hurt right there where I got that. But anyway, so the time and dedication.
Yeah. You're shifting. All right. So if you get a tattoo of something, just like if you were to get married or, you get your license to drive a car, there's a shift in your mental space. Like, I am now in charge of this. I now own this. I now am in control of something. So I think that a tattoo probably signifies that. And it's a reminder. I mean, think about it. I've got the coin in my purse and I know it's there, but I'm definitely not thinking about it all the time. Depending on where somebody gets a tattoo of a symbol, that's like every day you see that. And she or he, whoever it is probably saying to themselves, I know I'm protected because this symbol's on me. And what we think about, we bring about. So
and now that person is living that, living with that
Right.
belief
Yes.
that
It
they're
changed,
protected. And so imagine the relief, or imagine the lightness that you would experience if one day, or if you didn't feel like you felt some kind of threat in some kind of way, and then you got this symbol of protection, and now it's like a shield. I mean,
Comfort.
literally, it's like it's a shield too.
Yeah.
I think of it as a shield or a comfort, and you can always see it and you can touch it. It's like,
And
that's,
you know what
that's
it's there
powerful.
for.
It's powerful. But what did it? The actual tattoo or the belief? And I'm going to go with Jayme.
The shifting of
and
the
say
mindset.
It's the mindset.
Yeah.
It's the mindset, which proves how powerful our minds are and what we can do with our minds when we put our thoughts to them in the direction that we want to go.
Intentionally, right? That's why we set the intention of something, because we want to surround the space around us, around whatever it is, with the idea that we know what we want from this, and that's what we're going to get from it.
I've been meaning to ask, and this is in this vein, but here I am with another recommendation.
Oh boy.
Not a book, but on Netflix, there's a new documentary called Arnold. It's about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Have you watched it?
I have.
Have you watched it?
He's so funny.
So I've never been a huge fan, but I am a total fan of his, because he was a 15-year-old boy in Austria, and he got exposed to weightlifters, and he said, that's what I want to be. And he was like, that is
in his
it.
mind.
And you know what? Then he decided he wanted to go to America. And you know what? He made that shit happen with his mind. And when he got out of bodybuilding, you guys should watch it. Even if you're not a huge Arnold fan, he's awesome. He's
just really funny.
His personality. Your husband needs to watch it.
Yeah, we watched it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
really
so it's Arnold. It's on Netflix, and it'll really give you it just confirms that when we really want something, we will make it happen. We make it happen with our thoughts, because it's our determination, and we're just like nothing.
And
we don't let anything stop us.
Yeah.
We're just focused. He lived in a gym for a year on a little cot, in a little small room, to get himself out of Austria into Germany. That's how because his whole goal was, I want out of Austria. It was a little tiny place. He knew he'd never go anywhere there. Fantastic. I've already watched it twice. Okay. Next. And I don't, sorry, I was not planning to make the recommendations, but when things come up, they come up. So, okay. Now our last questions to discuss is, how do you dispel only negative entities?
What?
So the question was, how do you dispel only negative energy? So
what else would there be?
Well,
what is okay? I need some clarity here.
I can go to the post that I screenshotted.
If you're only dispelling,
that was my question.
Negative entities? Was it entities? So
they said
spirit
negative
things,
entities.
Okay,
yeah,
so they think that something's there, and they only want to dispel that.
Yes.
And what they're afraid, like they're going to send their team of light.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. It's okay. So here's the negative entity, negative energy in the house, and there's a good energy. And I think what I got from the post was that the fear was that, again, we're fear-based, right? The fear was that if you did a spell to
like a cleansing
to get rid of the negative, that you might send out the positives too. Stop laughing.
I'm sorry.
This is serious.
I know. I'm so sorry.
This is serious to somebody. They asked a question.
I know. I'm sorry. That doesn't help me. I'm still giggling. I'm sorry.
All right.
I understand that this gets very serious for people. I've seen people really, really, really afraid. I've seen it, and it scares me that they're so scared. I'm like, what is happening in your mind? All right. I'm going to recommend a movie. You ready for this? No, just because it gets into the idea that like our thoughts can really determine what we believe our reality is. Okay. So like 500 years ago, Jennifer, what's her name? Lopez did a movie called The Cell. And obviously it's not 500 years ago, but it's a movie from a long time ago. I don't know, like 10, 15
Before
years
she
ago.
was J-Lo.
She might have been J-Lo in this, but it's a very good, it's like a psychological thriller, and it's called The Cell. But it's where in the movie, because it's probably like based on today's technology, they could enter into other people's minds and they could see what's going on in their minds, and you could get stuck there if you started to believe their story too. That's why I say it's really good insight into this thing where somebody believes that there are two types of spirits, first off, and I do not believe that there are two types of spirits. There's one type of spirit, and that's just spirit, and they have different experiences that they're also going through, like us. So getting stuck or
And
whatever.
remember that spirits are energy. That's all they are.
Just energy.
They're just energy.
Just energy. So
they do have colors, though, according to Journey of Souls. So
right. And light. I mean, it's supposed to be like light.
Yeah, they're light.
That's why we call it our team of light. That's our spirit guides helping us do everything. I forgot where I was going with that now.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
The negative. So people.
Okay. So somebody believes that there's like two kinds, right? And so there's like good spirits and bad spirits. So what does this sound like? Heaven and hell. This is the duality. This is like,
it sounds like a movie or something.
No, it's just that in life we don't have the concept that there can just be one kind of thing and not like an evil side to that, right? Like the bad side of something. Like there's the bad twin, the bad dog, the bad whatever. There's just always a bad
Heaven and hell.
Like, right. So that's the duality of this. So if somebody believes that there are two types of spirits and they want the good spirits to stay, but they want the bad spirits to go, they first have to understand that they're not separate like that. And the intention that you have behind whatever you're going to do. So if you do believe that and that's your belief, fine, cool. Then you just say anything with, ill intentions in my space, leave, you're not welcome here. And there's no reason for, a spirit guide that's there to help you to want to leave anyways. I mean, normally they're probably over there, say this is a real thing. Now we're going to just like flip the curtain open and go to the other side and be like, good spirit, bad spirit, what's going on here? Good spirit's like, hey dude, you really need to go to your place. You're not really wanted here. I mean, they're probably going to do the work for you. In my head, that's my movie that I'm playing in my head right now. My spirit guides take care of all that. They're not trying to let, anything negative in my space. Cause how would that benefit me to have a negative spirit come in and be like, hey, Jayme, I'm going to be over here and like hiding in your closet and like, oh, don't put your feet under the bed. I'm going to get you.
Don't say that. I was scared of the dark.
See,
I was scared of the dark till I was like 19.
I'm just
from a movie about something under my bed.
Our imagination is way more scary than the spirit world. Like the things that we can come up with here, movies, the actual crimes that happen on earth are way scarier than anything that's in the spirit world. And I don't think there's anybody who would disagree with me on that from what I've read and researched and people that I've worked with. So there's that perspective that you're having the fear that you can dispel things that are good for you along with things that are bad for you. But I just wouldn't believe that it's true. And so your beliefs make your reality.
Okay. So I'm going to close this with a plug because that was our last one. And I'm going to tell you,
I
got a plug. We have done the Beginner Witch series, which is a 13-week course 3 times. And this is on our channel right now. And if you watch the latest one, you'll get, because each one, no, I was just going to say, if you're a brand new witch, I recommend that you just go start listening to it because you'll get a lot of information. We're here to try we're here to help new witches sort through all of the, and I'm going to say some of it's nonsense. Some of there's a lot of information out there and there's a lot of misinformation. Not that we know everything, but there's some things that are pretty common that you see, like scary spirits and, people being able to do, and, being, what's the one where somebody putting a spell on you and harming you and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those kind of beliefs out there. And it makes me sad because it reminds me of religion, which is why I'm not religious and didn't raise my children religion, because as a Catholic, I was raised to be fearful of death and fearful of life. If you don't do this and you don't do that, then you're going to go to hell. And so it's all this fear based. And I believe that witchcraft, and again, Jayme mentioned this earlier, this is a spiritual journey. The spirituality and witchcraft are just like, they're entwined.
Definitely.
And so this is a place, witchcraft is, I believe, a safe place for you to explore if you're new. Anyway,
You had a plug.
beginner witch series.
Oh,
yeah, the
YouTube-
plug was
the
to
series.
watch the series that just wrapped a couple weeks ago, the beginner witch series. You can go through and see the topics. You might skip some of them, but we do talk about these things in there
Yeah.
because we have we have a whole audience of people that ask questions. We answer those questions. We come back and do something. So we've tried to put some good stuff out there to help any new witches that are sort of like overwhelmed with the amount of information that that we have and the recommendations that you get, especially if you join a
lack
group.
of direction. Yeah, it's like lack of direction. You got a lot of information, but then it's like sort of a lack of direction of what to do with it and how to process it.
Yeah, you don't know. You know, like it's overwhelming.
Yeah,
it's like getting the whole.
Then you get stuck.
Encyclopedia Britannica, however many books were in it, and now you got to try to figure out what to do with all that. It's too much. You can't. So, anyway, that's my final plug.
I love that
recommendation.
Well, you made me think of something.
Okay.
The Encyclopedia Britannica. This is not a witch thing at all. It's just a random thing that popped in my head because I'm a curious person. But you remember what those books look like in person, right?
Yeah,
Imagine how many web pages there are now of each of those topics. Like,
oh my gosh!
I don't. If you were to print that,
when I was little, we had those, and they were fascinating.
Britannica.
Yeah, I don't know how my parents afforded them with 6 kids, but they did. And so.
It's a lot of information.
It's a lot of information. When they say encyclopedia, they're not kidding. So there's an encyclopedia of information about witchcraft out there, especially today.
Yeah.
In fact, I was just at Books A Million a week ago. There's now a section called Witchcraft and Magic. I took a picture of it and posted it to our Facebook group. I'm like, hey, witches, we're mainstream.
My gosh, I know.
So everybody's writing books. Everybody's doing blogs. Everybody's talking about it. This is the thing, right? But it's hard to sort through it. So we're here to help. Our contact information, I think, is somewhere in here.
It's on the YouTube channel. Everything, if you want to email us, even our email address
we're here to help.
That literally just goes to us is on the YouTube channel. If you have
the whole thing
questions, this is the whole show right here. This is it. If you do have any questions, or if we went over something that is like, oh, you needed help with that, and it's serious. You know, I giggle a lot because I've been disconnected from what that looks like for a long time. So I feel bad that people are being led in the direction like that, but if you come from Christianity or another religion, you're already fear-based. So it's very hard to come into witchcraft and be like, okay, what do I need to steer clear of? What do I need to be afraid of? What do I need to not do? Because that's in everything.
Well, I'm really thankful that I had the benefit of coming here and moving to Florida by my daughters who've both been practicing witchcraft for a long time. So I didn't have to try to weed through all the stuff that's out there and look for stuff. I was just exposed to it by virtue of being around them. So I'm blessed for that. And so I'm here sharing and hoping you guys learn.
Yes.
And also, if there's anything you would like us to talk about on one of these lives throughout the summer, you can give us
send an email. Because we want to try to surprise the topics.
Yeah, so send us an email and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, one of us will read the email and then delete it and hide it from the other one. Because as we react to stuff, it's so good. Because I feel like the first time I hear a topic, I'm like, oh, okay, I have a lot to say about it. But if I've been over it a couple times, I'm like, oh, okay.
That's my reaction when I read the topics. I was like, I have so much to say about this.
So this is what we will be doing all summer long until about August. We'll do live A Witch Reacts on Thursday. We'll try not to be, we've gone a little over. We're trying to do 30 minutes.
We're trying to do 30 minutes. Yeah. So we ran over tonight. Thanks, Sam. Thanks for being with us. And thank you so much for joining us all the way from the UK.
Listen, I want to say Yorkshire, but I know that's
Yorkshire. No,
yeah, but people have different ways they say it. There's an accent. No, I'm not. If I mess it up, I'm sorry. One day I'm gonna get there and I'll learn how the locals say it, and I'll say it better probably. But
that's where all my DNA says I'm from is around London and
all your cousins are there.
Stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. I see Lincolnshire. There's a way that you say those things.
That's how I say it.
We're gonna try not to sound terrible.
Okay. All right, you guys
have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you hopefully next week. One of us is going to be on live next week. I guess I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right.
I was waiting for you to say you'll do it.
I'll do it.
Oh man, one of us will do it. But we'll see you guys next week. All right.
Good night. Thank you.